Hi there. Today I'm going to spend this afternoon doing some more aggressive in-running scalping. I'll try and do some running commentary as I'm going along, so we'll see how that goes. So the first race today is the one at Cork. It's not the best one to go for, to be perfectly honest, with a short price favourite, maiden hurdle race. All the other runners are relatively high in odds, but we'll see how it goes. Essentially, the aggressive approach I'm taking is really to utilise the in-running scalping technique, but throw a lot more money into the market, essentially. So if you've seen the in-running scalping videos that I've done over the years, typically you'll be looking at a 5% profit based on whatever liability you're using. Essentially, I'm still going for much the same type of thing, just that because I'm using more money in the market, or the intention is to use more money in the market, the potential profit is, in monetary terms, that much greater. So typically I'd be looking for around about £20 or so, based on numerous bets going in, lay bets going in of £100 liability. So the maximum liability that I can possibly achieve or get is going to be 400, but of course I have no intention of getting anywhere near that, assuming I manage to avoid the deer in the headlights. So as you can see here, there's really only the favourite to get involved in. All the others are a little bit too high for my liking, even though I'm using fairly high staking. So whilst we're waiting for some of those to run through, clearly the running scalping technique you've all seen before if you've looked at the videos. It's a case of putting in numerous lay bets, or lay trades I should say, with a particular offset, hoping that those offsets get taken, and then the repeat on success setting kicks in and Fairbot just goes through the loop again. Looking to get out about the 50% mark, or certainly not get involved any further past the 50% mark. But one of the things about the more aggressive methodology I'm using is that I'm happy to take my open position later on in the race. Now you can see here we've already reached 26 quid, so I'm going to cancel all of that and take that money there, thank you very much, assuming that gets matched. Needs to come down a wee bit yet. I might just manually trade out once again, albeit for a little less. Okay, there we go, £25. So, excellent start to this afternoon. Let's just move on to the next race, which is at Fairyhouse. Okay, on to Fairyhouse now, and a very similar race in that we have a short price favourite in a maiden hurdle, so in all likelihood it'll only be the favourite I'm getting involved in. As a matter of interest, that Cork race, the odds on favourite won the race, but it traded up at 12s at one point during the race. The race after this is Southall. Southall's coming 5 minutes after the Fairyhouse meeting, so I'm going to leave out Southall today, it being all weather. I don't like using the in-running scalping technique on the all weather tracks, principally because they tend to go around a fairly tight bend. So there's a mad dash out the stalls to get to the bend, and then they tend to go around in double file, and the odds just don't move in the way that I would like, so I'm going to miss out Southall today. Okay, off we go at Fairyhouse, and once again same stuff. It looks like it's only going to be Rathgall Boy that I'll be able to get involved in. Omniscience coming down nicely, so I might as well jump on him as well. And the favourite hasn't been taken any time, so we'll go back in. I'm happy to jump in repeatedly in the first third of the race, trying to establish some sort of position, and then we can see how the race develops. So you can see that we've got some involvement in both those horses. Nothing else is short enough for my liking, So we'll just leave it like that and see how we get on. So we may have to wait a little while till these things clear, depending on how well these horses are running or not. But obviously, because I'm using repeat on success, as soon as these are taken, Fairbot will go through the loop again and resubmit the trades. Just so you're aware, I'm using the trading setting is set with a 3-tick offset. Smart bets is not switched on. Repeat on success is switched on with a repeat count of 4, and I'm using a 10-second kill or fill. Now you can see here, movement is actually pretty slow at the moment, so I may actually just abandon this one. We'll let us see if these ones will disappear, but it doesn't look that great at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to come out of those. We'll just give it another few seconds to see if this is the favourite's going to drift. Otherwise, I'm just going to take this small hit. I'm just not seeing the movement I would like to see. Let's just take that small profit. Better safe than sorry. As I say, with this more aggressive technique, I'm more than happy to leave the race to its later stages. But I just wasn't seeing any significant movement in any of the horses there. So let's just get out for a small profit and move on to the next one. Okay, off to first last now, the 140, 2.5 mile novice hurdle. Smallish field. Generally speaking, this technique is better with larger fields, but we should be able to get on okay here. You'll see there's really only the top 3 in the market that are going to be getting involved, I would think, with this. This race is likely to spill over into the start of the next race at Cork, so we'll probably end up missing that race and going to the first at Plumpton, the 155 at Plumpton, but we'll see that as and when. So we're still waiting for them to get off and running at First Lass. Obviously, if you've got any questions about this in-running technique, pop them down below. Feel free, however, if you haven't done so already, to browse through the various videos in the in-running scalping playlist, which actually discusses the origins of this particular technique and various other examples, as well as including a video on how to set it up using Fairbot's automation. Okay, we're off and running. It's really only these first 3 that's worthwhile getting involved in. The other ones, the odds are far too high, I would suggest. So we've got involved in all of those, and it's just a case of letting these bets chug along. It being a 2.5 mile race in heavy ground as well, so this is likely to take a good 5 to 6 minutes. So hopefully we'll be out long before the halfway point. You can see that all our other bets have disappeared, either been taken or the killer fill has kicked in. With only Tommy's Charm, it's worthwhile at this stage going back in to these 2. So with this technique, I'm quite happy to continually go back in up to the point of roughly halfway. But it's really just a case of seeing how the odds are changing. I've got William Hill Radio playing along in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. So I keep an eye on, or keep an ear on that, and trying to judge how these ones are getting on. But Certainly from the odds at the moment, we're looking at just the front three in the market being the ones involved, as I suspected. So we're coming up to the halfway point. We've got a reasonable profit so far that I can get out at. But again, just like the last race, there's not a huge amount of movement at the moment. So I'm going to leave this for a little while, but we may end up getting out for a little bit less profit than I had intended or wished. So we've only got Patriotic. He's been pretty steady all the way, as you can see with his graph here. So I think what we'll do is we'll take that £18 or so, hopefully, if it gets matched. Might have to try again. So one of the things that can happen when you actually click on the green up all button doing this technique, because I'm using repeat on success in these examples, as you click on the green up all button, Fairbot may be busy actually looping through the repeat on success again, so you may end up doing a green up all, but another bet still goes in. So you may find yourself clicking on the green up all button on numerous occasions. Right, okay, I'm going to take that. The cork race will be starting shortly, so we'll move on to that one. Having seen this, it's not something I would advise getting involved in, a short price favourite. When they're that short, of course, one can argue the only way for that horse to go is up. But he's completely dominating the pre-race market. Obviously people think this horse, Sir Gerard, will be the one to look at. So I'm going to miss this race out and move on to the Plumpton one. Okay, just waiting for the Plumpton race to start again. It's another maiden. So the bottom half of the market's of no interest. It's really just the first three in the market there that you see. Four Towns, Bennynar Road and King William Rufus. So once again we can just go into all three of these. Now I mentioned the in-running scalping playlist earlier. Feel free to browse through there. You'll find videos that explain the history of the in-running scalping technique and why I proposed it. You'll also find videos giving you some instruction how to set it up using Fairbot's automation. I'm not a great lover of that method, to be perfectly honest. I much prefer doing the in-running scalping technique manually. I just feel I can react to things better than I'm able to programming that within the automation. Personal preference, so by all means have a wee go at it yourself. Okay, we'll see that we've still got two runners that are active. Four Towns has gone all the way through, so let's go back into him. We could do with this one here, Bennynar Road, drifting a bit though. You can see the bottom half of the market's effectively out of it now, so it's only these three. So this is actually going to be quite difficult to come out of with a decent profit, I would suggest. Totally dependent on Bennynar Road, and it's starting to drift. Needs to get up to threes before we see any profit there, but he's not. So I'm going to let it come to about here. Looks like we're going to have to take a hit here, Ali. Oh, had a quick opportunity there, didn't we? Yeah, we'll just take that. Managed to get some green there, that was lucky. Good, that worked out okay. I didn't go quite as I would have planned, but again, I emphasise one of the reasons why I'm calling this a rather aggressive way of doing the in-running scalping technique is I'm prepared to let things go to fairly late on. Of course, the longer the race goes, the more volatile these odds are going to become. The main risk is that one of them, for example in this case Benningar Road, was running very well for the vast majority of the race. So if he continues to run that well, there's very difficult to get out again, but fortunately he wasn't able to maintain that performance. So good, quite happy with that. A little bit riskier, that one, but as I say, I'm happy to let you go into the latter stages of the race. Okay, Fairy House is about to get going, so I'll just quickly change over to that. It's going to be going off in 20 seconds. There's nothing obvious to get involved in here though, to be honest. I may have to let this race run a little while before I decide whether to get involved or not. Simply because all the odds of all the runners are a little on the high side for this. I don't get involved in anything in double figures, certainly, but ideally stuff under 6 is the prerequisite, really, the way I'm doing this. Yeah, we'll monitor this for the first minute or so, see how it goes. If one of these runners gets off to a decent start and drops fairly quickly, we may get involved in that. Otherwise, I'll just abandon this race. Okay, that's them off for the moment. This second one is your Vivo. Might be an option, but at the moment they're still too high. We'll see what it's like in about a quarter of the way round, if there's anything worth getting involved in. Otherwise we may abandon this particular race and move on to the next one. The race after this is a 5 furlong race at Southall, so we'll be giving that a miss and jumping straight on to market racing, the 2-9 at market racing. So trouble with Easter Sunday, the races come fairly thick and fast, so there will be some that we have to miss out in any case. Okay, these odds aren't moving or dropping particularly quickly. So I'm not going to get involved in this race, so let's just move on to the first at market racing. Actually, just as I paused the video there, the odds on the second favourite came in, so I quickly jumped on. So I've got involvement in this one runner here. Let's see if he can do anything for me. Nothing else is coming in really. Still not moving. It came down and then it's effectively stuck. It isn't putting in the drift that I need. So we may just come out just for a small loss here. I just thought I saw an opportunity just as I paused the video earlier, but it's not happening, so I think we'll just come out of this one. Right, let's not hang on any longer. We'll just take that small loss there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, off to market raising. We're just about to start this 3 mile handicap chase. And yeah, we've got a few selections that look interesting. So we'll just jump on those ones. I'll probably make this the last race of the video because we've been going, well, the video's over 20 minutes long now. That's the first hour of the racing for today. So we'll leave this as the last one. So it's only post-chase and balls over Bill's still there. Oscar Robertson might be of interest. Let's come in. Yeah, let's go in again. There's plenty of time. We're barely quarter of the way round just now, so plenty of time yet. Always risky going back in again, of course. The more times you go in, the bigger the risk of catching a runner that shortens and doesn't drift again. Post chase seems to be holding its own though. I think what I'm going to do is effectively scratch that one by coming out of there and then going back in again. Yep, I'm just going to leave it there. Let's just take the £13. Let's not run the risk anymore. We'll take the £13 and finish off the video there. Again, have a look at the in-running scalping technique playlist where you'll get all the information about the in-running scalping technique itself. I'm being a little bit more aggressive with it in this video and recent videos I've posted. I'm using bigger stakes. Looking for a slightly bigger profit, trying to get out as early as possible though. So ideally looking for around £15 to £20 profit each race, and using a tick-off set of 3 and a repeat on success count of 4. That figure actually isn't that important as such because almost inevitably I will be cancelling everything come halfway around or thereabouts. But the repeat on success thing is there just to keep the thing churning over, assuming that particular lays haven't been filled or killed. Okay, I think we'll finish it there. Let's have a quick look at where we were. So we've got £13 on that one. First one of the day we got 25. More or less scratched the next one. £16 in the next. And then off to Plumpton. We've got 13. Had a little bit of a loss on the Fairy House one. That was me being silly, to be perfectly honest. I shouldn't have jumped in as I was looking to move on to the next race. And then we've got, what, £14 or so on this race that's still to finish. So that's the in and running scalping technique, or the more aggressive version if you like. I may well do another one of these at a later date. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.